Tarek Les Chantry, a Lebanese-Australian, lives with his parents and little sister in Sydney's western suburbs. His older brother, Jamal Brennan Foster, is serving a prison sentence for an unspecified crime and can't afford the money for an appeal. Tarek sees the chance to help his brother when his mate Nabil Buddy Danoon, who works as a cleaner in a block of flats, observes some suspicious comings and goings and suspects an apartment is being used as a drug depot. Nabil persuades Tarek to help him steal the drugs. They enlist their drug dealer friend Sam Wadasari to help move the pills, and they start to reap the profits.
You like it?
Yeah.
مين اشترى التي في؟
أنا
من وين جبته؟
اشتريته من واحد بيجيب رخيص.
طارق من وين عم تجي كل هالمصاري؟ التياب اللي لابسهم، الصرامة والتياب بغزينتك؟
I got a bonus at work and, doing lots of overtime.
ما رح تقول شي؟
الصبي عم يشتغل كتير. ما في مشكلة. وين المشكلة؟
Meanwhile, Tarek has met Amy Rachel Taylor, an Aussie girl who likes to party and to snort cocaine.
That's where he's from.
What? Nationality?
Yeah.
We're Australian.
Yeah, but what's your background?
We're from,
Iran.
Right, really?
It's all the same, isn't it?
Our parents are from Lebanon.
So he's Muslim?
No. We're Jewish. Well, anyway, does it matter?
I guess not.
CEDAR Boys, like the combination before it, is a vivid depiction of life for Lebanese Australians today. It's also a genre piece, a crisp, suspenseful thriller, in which a couple of guys who think they're cool get in over their heads with some pretty ruthless villains. This tense story plays out against a backdrop of casual prejudice. These Lebanese Australians have difficulty getting into nightclubs. Police stop their car for no reason other than the fact that they're of Middle Eastern appearance. And there are television news stories of suburban shootings and conflicts in the Middle East. Writer-director Serhat Karadi has brought all these elements together in a fast-paced, no-nonsense film which feels totally authentic. He also gets excellent performances from his cast members, including Rachel Taylor, who made the big time in Transformers, but who, to her credit, was happy to take on the role of the rather unsympathetic Amy. Peter A. Holland's photography is handheld, but not gratuitously so, and the film benefits from the precision editing of veteran Suresh Iyer. Margaret.
Yes, it's another very solid Australian film, I think. I think it's unfortunate that it follows so soon after the combination because it does cover very similar territory. This venture into the world of drugs, the attraction for the white-bread Australian. And actually I found that one of the most interesting elements of this film, that yearning for these kids from the western suburbs to access, that white-bread life of the eastern suburbs and the interface and the tensions. Even in that bar scene, you can feel, the tensions between
I think they do that very well.
The two groups. I'd just like to see that explored more. And I know it's a genre piece and we have to go into the drug world, but do they always have to go into the drug world?
Well, the director has said that he was influenced by films like Mean Streets, where you have an Italian community getting into crime and so forth and exploring the characters through this crime situation. So I guess it's a legitimate thing, and I wouldn't make too much of the fact that the combination came beforehand. I mean, you can't, put that onto this film because
no. But I just felt that it followed a very familiar trajectory. That's all.
They are a bit similar, but they're two independently very good films, I think. What are you giving this?
I agree. Look, I'm giving this 3.5 stars.
I'm giving it 4.
I'm in a bit of trouble, Jamal. I need your help. نبيل سرق شوية حبوب من واحد وسام كان عنه بيعهم. Anyway, لقطونا وهلا بيعرفوا وين ساكنين. Stop. I'm so sorry, Jamal.
The story of CEDAR Boys for me personally started back in 2002 when I started writing the screenplay, and I had the initial idea to write it because I was in New York City for a short film of mine I was travelling with, and I saw films like Mean Streets, Goodfellas, Raging Bull, Bad Lieutenant, and they're all films about outsiders really living in a big city. I just thought we'd never had a story like that told in this country.
Sure, 3 libers and a WRX in this area. You haven't got anything on you, have you?
Relax, Scuba, they'll just check your licence.
I think I was sick of seeing Middle Eastern characters portrayed in such one-dimensional ways on our screens, and I wanted to tell a story of 3 Lebanese leads in an Australian film that hasn't been done before.
I'll go find out how many we've got left.
What? You're not going to give them back, are you?
Tell me about the casting. I guess the 3 guys you had in mind from the beginning, did you?
Since 2003, I did the first reading of the screenplay at my house, and they were involved back then. And since then, whenever I did it at a workshop, or when I was developing the script, or when I did a hand on actors, they were always on board. I came across Buddy Danoon and Les Chanteri from NIDA. Les was in 3rd year at the time, and Buddy was in 1st year. And a good friend of mine, Kevin Jackson, tipped me off on him. He said, you should go check out these actors. So I went and checked him out, gave him the screenplay. Buddy was attached to it, admitted he liked it. Les was a bit reluctant. He just graduated from NIDA, and he just didn't think playing a Lebanese boy straight out of NIDA was going to be beneficial to his career. After about a year, he kind of... I just got a call from him one day saying, is the script still happening? I said, yes, it is. He said, I'd like to be really a part of it. I said, no problem. And Wada, who plays Sam, I come across him at a casting session when I was actually acting for auditioning for a role in Wallside, and he was there. And then when I was writing the character of Sam, I actually had him in mind all the way along.
Sam, what club's that?
It's not, it's a bar.
Bellroom. It's a bar we can't get into.
They're kind of outsiders themselves. I mean, most of the story, they're trying to fit in. In fact, some of the big themes of the film is about acceptance and belonging. So to them, and just to me as a filmmaker myself personally, we kind of feel like we're outsiders. We're trying to crack into the industry, and hence them trying to come into another world. And their characters are really, I mean, they didn't portray 3 characters like victims. They're not actually victims. They come from good families, they've got good jobs, but sometimes they try to attain something that they want now, but they can have later on. If they wait 20 years, they'll probably get some of those dreams, the nice house, a nice car. But unfortunately, they run out of time and they run out of patience. They want to get there now. So this is why some of them make some silly choices and end up in some silly worlds, really. And unfortunately, some of these worlds fight back and bite you back.
In Sydney southwest overnight, another drive-by shooting. A man was shot dead in front of his Greenacre home while getting out of his car. Witnesses say a silver Audi was seen speeding away from the scene. The New South Wales Middle Eastern Crime Squad is...
It's all your Lebo mates, Tarek.
And to overseas...
Let them shoot each other.
And then the combination came out earlier this year. Now, were you aware that it was being made, or did it come as a surprise, or how did you feel about it?
I knew about the combination back in 2005 when David Field was one of the performance advisors at Indivision Lab we were doing. And we were talking about the combination, and he was saying how there's another film involved and there's going to be plenty of room for another Lebanese film in our community. And I said, no problem. I was a big supporter of them, actually. I really wanted them to do well. And the better they did, the better it was going to be for us. And it actually worked out because it took note. Exhibitors and distributors actually took note that films like this have an audience. So it was really good for us.
Oh, that was Serhat Karaji, the writer and director of CEDAR Boys, which opens in cinemas tomorrow. And just looking at those clips, the performances really impress. Well, the intensely time-consuming art of stop-motion animation comes to glorious life in